welcome to the Horror Next Door. We're back with some of our favorite new horror movie trailers for the month of February 2020. If you like everything horror, horror movies, memorabilia, and masks, please subscribe. Now, on with the trailers.
Run. A homeschooled teenager begins to suspect her mother is keeping a dark secret from her. This film stars Sarah Paulson and Kiera Allen. It was written by Anish Chaganty and Sheb Ohanyan. It's directed by Anish Chaganty, and they both wrote and directed 2018's Searching, which was a pretty great movie. This movie is definitely a taking from the true story of Gypsy Rose Lee, but I can't help but be intrigued nonetheless because, first of all, the story of Gypsy is mind-blowing, and we're both very interested in true crime. But secondly, they are adding that element of mystery by showing the word run and other strange visions everywhere. It makes you wonder if these things are being seen because of mental illness, drugs, just being distressed, or all of the above. I certainly want to see more, and it also looks like there will be some good performances.
This movie looks interesting, but after Hellcat pointed out that it looks like a Gypsy Rose situation, then everything in this trailer reminded me of that. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if the girl in the wheelchair can actually walk, a revelation-like twist towards the end of the movie. I'm not a fan of Sarah Paulson, but this movie looks good enough for me to check out when it's available. By the way, is there anything Sarah Paulson is in where she doesn't cry?
The Witch, Subversion. A high school student with amnesia tries to uncover what has happened to her, all leading into her deeper troubles, ultimately revealing a darkness she could not have imagined. She looks completely badass. This trailer makes it seem as though anything could happen in the movie, which is a huge draw for me. I'm sick of predictability, jump scares, and other cliches. Can pretty much always rely on Asian horror for originality, which is probably why I tend to enjoy it so much. This was directed by Park Hoon-jung, who did the I Saw the Devil screenplay, also a great movie. And this co-stars Choi Woo-shik from the awesome films Parasite and Train to Busan. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing any names.
When doing some research on this film, apparently it was released in South Korea in 2018, but is just now getting a US release. There are a lot of cool things coming out of South Korea in the last few years. This movie looks to be another. It appears to be more of an action horror, but horror nonetheless. This movie looks batshit crazy, and as you know, that's a great thing. I really don't know what's going on, but it looks bloody entertaining.
Spiral. A sadistic mastermind unleashes a twisted form of justice in Spiral, the terrifying new chapter from the Book of Saw. Working in the shadow of an esteemed police veteran, brash detective Ezekiel Zeke Banks and his rookie partner take charge of a grisly investigation into murders that are eerily reminiscent of the city's gruesome past. Unwittingly entrapped in a deepening mystery, Zeke finds himself at the center of the killer's morbid game.
We both were not thrilled with this teaser trailer, but we both are huge fans of the Saw films and are excited to see this movie no matter what. So we're going to break this trailer down as much as we can to really see what's going on. So I thought this was the New York City skyline, which I'm sure it's where this was filmed, but after some Google detective work, apparently this is Angelo City, the fictional city the Saw movies apparently take place in. I did some searching on the previous Saw films, and they never really mention which city they take place in. The synopsis states, murders that are eerily reminiscent of the city's gruesome past, so I'm assuming that this Angelo City is where the Saw films all take place. I guess New York is just doubling as Angelo City, kind of like how Chicago doubled as Gotham City in The Dark Knight. On the left is actor Max Minghella. On the right is Chris Rock, who apparently is one of the reasons why we are getting this film. The story goes that he pitched the story to this film to Lionsgate, and they loved it so much that it was greenlit. Chris Rock is also producer on this film. Also, just to add, the music that plays in the trailer up to this point is extremely irritating and horrible to listen to. They could have used anything else. The Twisted Pictures logo appears. This logo has always been a part of the franchise because it's tied to the producers of the film. This logo, however, doesn't feature the barbed wire wrapped around the letters and the stake that goes in between the words. I really hope that the movie still shows the barbed wire twisting around the letters when the film comes out, and this clean version is just for the trailer. This is where the trailer really starts feeling like a Saw movie. Here we see what appears to be a trap that someone has obviously failed at getting out of. The trap is placed on subway train tracks. It appears that whoever was in it had to release themselves from the trap and get off the tracks before the next train came through. They apparently didn't make it. The sound effects of the flies is a rather nice touch to the trailer.
These next couple shots basically just made me think, one thing you can always look forward to in a Saw movie is new traps and what motivation the killer has for putting people in them.
An updated, slower version of the iconic Saw theme known as Hello Zep plays over the trailer. At this point, Chris Rock's character says that whoever is carrying out these killings is targeting cops. In this shot, we can see Chris Rock and fellow cops approaching a pickup truck, presumably another trap of sorts, with a spiral mark from the Billy puppet spray painted on the door. Here's a theory of mine, which probably isn't going to happen at all, but would be really cool. If this person is targeting cops, how cool would it be if Costas Mandylor, the actor who played Mark Hoffman in Saw 3 through 7, turned out to be the killer? We last saw him at the end of Saw 7 after Dr. Gordon locked him in the bathroom, leaving him to die. But the rule of thumb in the Saw series is, if you didn't see them die on screen, then assume they are still alive. So what if he somehow made it out of the bathroom, laid low for a decade or however long it's been, and now he's back, putting all the cops from the former police department that he worked for in traps? This is just an idea I have, which again probably won't happen. I think it's more so a diehard fan of the series hoping that these films connect into the previous films in a better way than how Jigsaw attempted. This May appears on screen. This new Saw film is going to be released on May 15th, 2020, which is a big departure from the usual October release dates of all the other previous films. If it's Halloween, it must be Saw, was a phrase they started using. Since this is a teaser trailer, I'm assuming the full trailer would be released sometime in April, hopefully sooner though. In this quick shot, we can see a SWAT team entering a building. This flashes by so fast, I really have no idea what's going on. In this next shot, we can see Chris Rock at the police station. In the background, we can see someone in the process of being arrested. On the ground in front of them is a blue box. I'm assuming they brought this box into the police station and all the officers are freaking out, probably thinking that it could be a bomb or something. Here we can see Chris Rock about to open the box from the previous shot. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
It's around here that the trailer gives us the cards that read out, Discover a New Chapter.
It's funny that you referenced 7 because I did get the same sort of feeling from this trailer that 7 has.
Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, Samuel L. Jackson is in a Saw movie. Probably again, thanks to Chris Rock.
It's hard to go wrong with Sam Jackson. Sure, he has been in some not-so-great movies, but he is a bright spot in whatever he does. I'm curious how much he will end up being in the actual movie. Even if it is a bit part, it would be cool if he approaches a crime scene and gets stuck in a trap himself. Like maybe his cameo type thing is that he dies in the movie or something.
Like Deep Blue Sea. In this shot, I am assuming it's Samuel L. Jackson's character finding a puppet of sorts. What is interesting about this puppet, however, is that it is not the iconic Billy puppet from all the previous Saw films. When I first watched the trailer, this shot goes by so fast I just assumed that it was Billy, but now know that it is not. Perhaps the killer or killers in this movie are just copycats and put this here to toy with Samuel L. Jackson. But if they are true Jigsaw copycats, wouldn't they have just made a copycat Billy puppet as well? I don't know. I'm interested in how this all plays out. In this quick shot, you can see a support group of sorts talking together in a church. I'm hoping that maybe some actors from the previous films appear here. Give us nerdy fans something to smile about. Another I don't know what the hell is going on shot. This is clearly Chris Rock in a ski mask with 2 other men. They look like they are about to carry out a bank heist or something. This shot is of the train about to hit someone. This must be the trap from earlier in the trailer. Looks like he was able to release himself from the trap after all, but just couldn't get out of the way in time. Could this trap have been rigged for him to die no matter what? Wink, Hoffman, wink. More of the iconic Billy Puppet spirals spray painted all over the walls. The way this appears in the trailer, I think they want you to think that Chris Rock is looking at this wall, but I actually think it's Samuel L. Jackson looking at this wall since he was holding a flashlight and this wall looks to be lit by something like a flashlight. Samuel L. Jackson always has to say motherfucker, but I love it. Here is a glimpse of another trap in the film. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it appears that something is ripping the skin of this guy's fingers off. I have no idea what is going on with his head. Whatever is going on, I'd say he's fucked.
Yikes.
So here we get the title, Spiral, from the Book of Saul. I don't know if the film is just titled Spiral, or Spiral from the Book of Saul, as most people are reporting it. It appears to me that From the Book of Saul is just a tagline that they are using. The official Lionsgate YouTube just lists it as Spiral. Anyway, I'm not sure why they decided to title the film Spiral instead of Saw 9. It bugged me that Jigsaw was titled Jigsaw instead of Saw 8, but who knows what these big movie companies think anymore. If you ask me, it's Saw 9, but they could have simply just used the word Saw and had a subtitle of sorts. For example, Saw, A New Beginning.
I'm interested to see how Spiral ties into the previous films, because Jigsaw tried, but somehow still felt disjointed and disconnected.
The last shot of the trailer shows Chris Rock handcuffed to a pipe while holding a hacksaw, intentionally reminiscent of the very first Saw where Dr. Gordon was cuffed to the pipe and had to use a hacksaw to saw his foot off to escape. Will Chris Rock do the same?
This part lost me a bit. I understand the original Saw is amazing and where it all started, but if you're going to do something new, then do something new. This made me think that as a fanboy, Chris Rock just wanted to see himself in that same iconic position. It feels like it doesn't have a true purpose. Unless they're trying to say the killer is a fanboy too, and wanted to recreate the original hacksaw thing. But again, wouldn't that still be an excuse to rehash things we've already seen just for the sake of it? It's like pandering to the fans.
Returning to write are Josh Stolberg and Peter Goldfinger, who together wrote the previous Saw film titled Jigsaw. I enjoyed Jigsaw because I'm a fan of the series, but admit that it was probably one of the weaker sequels, almost like Jason X. Also returning to direct is Darren Lynn Bousman, who directed Saw 2, 3, and 4, which in my opinion are some of the best sequels in the series. If there's one thing that has me excited about this new Saw film, it's that Darren Lynn Bousman is directing it. Hopefully he does some of his crazy in-camera scene transitions.
I'm definitely glad to see Bousman directing. I believe that he could help to bridge the gap between the previous films, 3 of which he was a part of, and something fresh with Spiral. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. All of the trailers we discussed in this video are linked in the description below. While you're down there, please check out our store and social media pages. Until next time!